Did I say it wrong? Okay. He's a wanderer who shares his stories, messages, and ideals that promote the rediscovery of your ultimate potential. It's about having a warm conversation with the intent to activate memories that lead to the remembrance of self that gets forgotten in this hypnotic world. So we're going to join him on his collective path of merging the mind with the life force of the Alpha and the Omega, the redesigning of your life through conscious evolution. So I haven't heard him yet, so I'm very excited to be here this morning. And I don't know where he is. Oh, it's like, is he out there? Where is he? I don't know. So I'm going to turn it over to him because he just jumped up out of a chair over there. Oh my God.
Thank you, Carol. How's everybody? How many of you have seen me here before? I see some familiar faces. Excellent, and some new faces. So I want to welcome all the new faces and the friends and the family in the community. So to reiterate what she said, my name is Cliff Cherrier, and my story and my journey up here is kind of a unique one. So by trade, I'm a plumber, and it's a dirty job, someone's got to do it. But throughout my life, I have viewed things differently. At least that's the way the world has impressed upon me. And out of the blue one day, I just decided I was going to do something different. And I was going to start to share my experiences, my thoughts, my ideas with people maybe on a broader scale, and that's how I ended up here on this stage. Because it was an evolution of conversations that I was having with people at the right time that allowed me to kind of step outside of my comfort zone. For such a long time, I really suppressed the way that I felt, the way that I thought, because it didn't fit within the mainstream of most of, we'll say here in the West, is ideology of what's real and what's not. And I've questioned that myself. So much so to the point where I even went to see a psychologist. I've kind of shared this before because I thought that I was going crazy. I thought that the way that I'm interpreting the world, the way that I'm thinking, the way that I'm feeling, the world says it's wrong, the world says it can't happen. And she made me feel a lot better because she said, Cliff, crazy people don't know that they're crazy. And I said, okay. And I continued on living this experience within myself. And this experience within myself, I find it really hard to describe sometimes because it's different and it's unique to everybody, and I've come to find out that not everybody shares the same idea and the same journey. Gary, would you mind turning that up a little bit for me? I heard a quote the other day that really reminded me of myself, and maybe it will remind you too, but it said, when we change the way that we look at things, the things that we look at change. When we change the way that we look at things, the way we look at things change. And so last time I was here, I think it was earlier this summer, I decided to do something that I had never done before, and I was going to not prepare. Because previously I had these different ideas and these different things that I wanted to share with people, and I was always afraid that it wasn't going to be received well. I was afraid that it may not necessarily resonate with people. And I found myself stuck in the middle, like, what do I say? What do I do? Am I being too entertaining? Am I trying too hard to be somebody that I wasn't, this guy on the stage? So I decided not to prepare and not to rehearse or do anything. I was just going to go with the flow and speak from a genuine place inside of me and try to reach this flow state that I have with myself, this flow state that I have with other people when I'm interacting with them. And that's what I intend to do today. And so if I pause, it's not that I've run out of things to say, is that I call it swimming within my mind. And I swim into the deep end. And you can hear it in my voice a little bit. I still get nervous because I'm not passionate about being a public speaker. But what I have discovered that I am passionate about is what I'm speaking publicly about. Because I feel that there's a solution to a lot of the problems that we face in society, that we face as individuals when we dive inside of ourselves. At least for me, that's what I discover. When we try to imagine's the wrong word. When we get in the way of ourselves, we become the limiting factor within our own existence. What does that mean? What does that mean, Cliff? It is my thoughts, and it is my beliefs that every single one of us come from a place that we can't explain. We come from a place that's beyond our understanding, beyond our comprehension. And then we forget that. And we live our lives based on the ideas of somebody else's ideas. You know, like, we all know our names. You were told it. You were told your identity. And then little by little, we try to carve our piece out here in the world. I've repeated it before at my other talks, and I'll repeat it again, but I say it because it's something that means something to me. And it's, who are you? Who are you truly? Because if you were to look at yourself under a strong enough microscope and see beyond the flesh, see beyond the bone, see beyond the cells, what you see is just a whole lot of space. But it's not just empty space. There's something magical within that space. There's something magical that animates each and every single one of those cells, each and every single one of those atoms. And what that space is, I wish I had an answer for you. But it's my own experience that I search for understanding, but not necessarily of what that space is, but what it makes us. That space, that the divine energy that keeps it all moving. It's what enters the womb. And then within that womb, from that moment forward, we're in this constant state of change. Tomorrow I turn 42. It's another trip around the sun. And a lot of us, we celebrate the fact that we're getting older. But in a lot of different cultures, they don't acknowledge the birthday. We just acknowledge the fact that we're changing. And this experience that we have here on this globe, on this planet, is nothing more than just a handful of changes. Some of us get longer than others. And some of us are here and gone. And I've raised the question before, with this awareness, with this consciousness, what are you going to do with the time that you have left here on this planet? I use the word planet and I use the word globe because with 7.5 some billion different people on this planet, to me there's 7.5 billion different worlds. And together we share this planet. We share this globe, along with tons of different species of life. And your world is interacting with my world. And then sometimes it's like bubbles. When we have enough bubbles together, enough H2O molecules, it makes up a body of water. And that's what our world is made up of. If we had to call it one collective. It's made up of a bunch of different bubbles. And sometimes our bubbles, they're going to interact. I'm kind of getting all over the place, but we know what happens to bubbles. They eventually pop. I don't want to lose you guys. We had to trace back the things that have changed our lives. Would you be able to really count them all off as coincidences, as accidents? And if you can't, then what is it? And it's that what that I think is worth exploring. I was having dinner with some friends the other night, and my friends are very proud atheists. And ironically enough, I officiated their wedding a couple of weeks ago. And at dinner the other night, they challenged me to prove to them that God exists. And obviously, it's a tall tale, and I couldn't even really attempt to. But what I found, just by listening to them, was that same voice that resonates inside of me is resonating inside of them. Because far too often I won't say we, but just people in general associate God with a religion. And God's not a religion. I said to them, I see God everywhere. I see God in the smiles on a baby's face. I see God in the growth of a tree. And in return, they came back at me hard. And they were saying, why does God allow bad things to happen? If God was real. And I didn't have an answer for that either. But throughout that questioning, what it made me question was, how do I experience God? And I went back to those fundamental questions of who we are, what we are, and where we are. Sounds a little mad, but what is reality? A lot of people say, I have a soul. I look at people like, you are a soul. Are you really truly seeing me? Or is it just your eyes bending light, sending a signal back into your brain, recreating the image of everything we see around us? Are you hearing me? Or is that just my vocal cords making a sound, a vibration within the air molecules? And your ears are taking that in and recreating that, and your neurons are recreating the sound of my voice. That's the true you. That's the true you that is unconsciously putting all of this together. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. Doesn't even really make sense to me. Because what we associate ourselves with is the physical matter from which we interact, our outer worlds. But there's this disconnect with our inner worlds. And we just go through life knowing that we can experience love, experience pain, experience heartache, experience joy. And if you were this energy, that space that I was speaking about, and the universe or God, whatever, had asked, do you want to go to this earth for a short period of time to experience it? Would you? And in my world, in my imagination, the answer was yes to all of us. So many of us that become trapped and prisoners of our own mind. We listen to the voices that bring us down. Our worst enemy is truly that within our minds. When I was a little boy, I used to bug my grandma. She was a devout Catholic. I would challenge her, and I would say things like, why would God create the devil? Why would he create his own worst enemy? And she would say things like, because of free choice. And I would say, then why does he allow bad things to happen? Because of free choice. And then I would continuously push her. And she would say, Cliff, eventually you're going to get there. You're going to have to ask him yourself. And within my own world, within my own mind, what I've discovered is that devil, that hell, the same way that God lives within us, that other side lives within us. And it's that other side that rules us sometimes. It's what creates the jealousy. It's what creates the rage. She said to me one time, she said, heaven is like living without God. I apologize. Hell is like living without God. And if you think about it, when we don't put this part of us first, that same special divinity that I was speaking about, that brought you into this world, that brought you life, that brought all of this into existence. When we pull away from that light, things get dark. There's a book called The Way, or The Tao, and it talks about this invisible force that just flows through everything and anything. And when we're not in tune with that Tao, in tune with that force, things just seem to go awry. Maybe not for everybody, because some people do it unconsciously. They seem to just blow with it, while some of us get stuck in the rapids. We get stuck with disempowering thoughts, and we say, why did this happen to me? Why am I so unlucky? And we search for something external to fix it. We search for a sign. We search for a remedy. But for some reason, we don't take that deep dive inside. And that's what I'm trying to kind of convey. And I know that I'm not doing the best job at it today. Because I get lost in my own complicated thoughts. And if we were to look back into some of the scriptures, and when I say scriptures, I don't mean necessarily the Bible. I'm talking about all of the holy books. They're like breadcrumbs. that all lead back to the same source. You know, the word testament, it's an older word. Word testi means body, and mente means mind. And so then there's the old mind and the new body mind. And those are the symbols, those are the signs, those are the secrets that have been laying in front of us in plain sight. And far too often, we get so busy within our world, we get so caught up within the other things that we forget that we share this world, that we share this planet with other people, and then we think that we can just exploit our outer worlds, exploit our resources. Last year, I got real sick, and I've kind of cut back on a lot of the things that I do in life, trying to work my way towards getting better. And coming up and doing these talks is something that hasn't been on my agenda. And as you can kind of tell, it's kind of suffered as a result of it. But what happened is that I had to try to convince myself that despite the things that happen to us within our lives, the people that come and go, and people that we've lost, that life is way too short to stop walking forward. It's a strange feeling to be up here on this stage, because I never wanted to be. What I wanted was to simply help people. I wanted to touch people in a way that others have touched me. And I made it a point to travel around to different churches, to different religious organizations, and learn their culture, learn their ideas, learn their beliefs. And what I discovered along that way is that we all kind of believe in the same thing. And we all are on the hunt for something a little bit more. You guys, I'm truly sorry, but I'm going to have to cut today's short. I'm not quite in the right place in my life right now to give you guys the presentation or the talk that I intended to today. I don't really have an excuse to why. something that isn't working for me today. Today's kind of a sad day for me and my family, and it's beginning to show, and I apologize on everybody for cutting this short. But I want to thank everybody for coming and giving me your attention for the little bit that you did do. And I'm going to end it with a quote. Wisdom is knowing that you are nothing. Love is knowing that you are everything. And in between the two, our lives move. Thank you guys for coming, and I apologize for cutting it short. Thank you.
So when we ask questions, we like to have people wait for the mic to come to you so that it would be on the recording. Are you good?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
Cliff, it's not a question, it's just a statement. I would like to thank you for your presentation. It seems like your speech was coming not just from your mind, but from your heart. And nowadays, what we are missing is to observe this flow energy coming from the heart. And just be exposed is a big gift by itself. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Today is, she asked me not to say nothing. Today is my father-in-law's birthday. We lost him not that long ago. And so today is just really hard for me to kind of stay focused and so that's kind of what's going on. I've been trying to clear my mind all morning and not try to acknowledge it. And I have a different belief on death and I have a different belief on birthdays, but today was just kind of one of the harder ones. So, and I apologize, you guys, for kind of letting that show. But what is your question, my friend?
I thought it was great too. I really appreciate when someone comes and has the courage to, like you were saying, speaking from the heart. So who cares how long it is, right? You asked some questions in there that have really got me thinking. Maybe each Sunday, we should all be asked one question, and then the person could sit down, right, and leave it with us for a week. So you've asked some great ones. One of those was, how do we experience God? And I wasn't sure about that. I've put a lot of thought into that. Could I ask that question? How do you experience God?
Yeah. So, ever since I was little, I viewed the world very, very differently. And some people call it energy. Some people call them spirits. For me, it was something that just happened to me. And the world began to change in front of my eyes with things that I couldn't explain. And when I went down these rabbit holes of trying to figure out what was happening to me, why I was experiencing what I was experiencing, things got worse, I guess, per se. People started coming into my life, strangers started coming up to me, knowing my name, knowing who I was, and saying all of the right things at the right time to me. And what it began to identify to me personally was that you were God, and that you were God. And that's a little cocky. That sounds like, you talk to the wrong crowd, and it's blasphemy. But when I actually look at somebody, I see something beyond who they are. And when I think about what was your question? How do I experience God? That energy that I was talking about earlier. It makes up everything, everywhere, and it's within everyone. And I don't believe that we ever left that source. I was talking with my uncle the other day, and to me it's like that the ray of sunshine that comes down. It's never actually separate from the sun, but yet it has enough energy behind it to turn grass into food for an animal and transcend and transform everything that we see here into something. So on a different level, I don't believe that we have souls. I believe that we are souls, and that we are connected to this source that never, ever left. And I do question a lot of times, where were we before this then? And where do we go after? And those same experiences that I've had have come back into my life, and it says to me very plainly, it does not matter. What matters is right here, right now. And what are you going to do with the time that you have left? And that would be the best way for me to kind of describe how I experience God. I experience Him every day, or the universe. It's such a cliche wording because it's undescribable to me. It can't be described. It can only be experienced. And when we think about, you're not telling yourself to breathe. You're not telling yourself to see. You're not telling yourself to hear. You're not even telling yourself to heal. Or your heart to pump. Those are all things that are happening to us on a subconscious level, or that's just happening. And so when we remind ourselves of that happening, that's God to me. That's what I call the universe just in motion. And if God had to experience itself, it would be through us. It would be through the uniqueness of each and every single one of you guys. And then for that short period of time, we're gone. And then where we go, I don't know. Does that make a little sense?
I have two more questions, one here and then one over there. Did you have a question?
I didn't really actually have a question.
Okay.
Now you got to make one up like me.
I just wanted to say something, actually.
All right.
I'm going to stand up, actually, and come towards you if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Because personally, I'm a channeler myself, and I came here today. I wasn't going to come, but I felt the need to speak. And that was to say that the answer to some of your questions, I believe, is that we are all ourselves consciousness, but unconsciousness at the same time, correct? Mm-hmm. And we understand that everything happens for a purpose. And I personally believe the purpose that we're all here today is because you need love. You need unconditional love from the people in this audience. And you came here to show that to people in a time when you were struggling. And so I believed that it was us that needed to show love back to him.
Oh, thank you.
And that's why I came up to stand.
Thank you. Thank you. Really.
So we have one more. You
Okay.
good with that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, relax, fam. Cliff is my nephew, and my family gets a little nervous, I think, when I get the microphone, and maybe rightfully so. But so my question is really like more of a statement to Cliff. I recently heard this quote: "In order to fully love and be loved, one must be absolutely vulnerable." And personally, I can't think of much, anything more vulnerable than being in front of a group of people and speaking your truth. And I mean, especially like it can happen between two people, right? We have a very difficult time being vulnerable with the ones we love. Therefore, I commend you for being courageous and being vulnerable. And I think you did a great job. Do I have a question? My question is, when will you be back? Thank you.
Thank you.
So my question to you is, are you okay with us sending you some love?
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Would you like to sit down, stand there? Where would you like to be while we
Where
do
do you guys
that?
want me?
Yeah, we'll get into a circle. Well,
All right.
yes. So first we're going to do an offering, and
Okay.
then when we do our circle, we'll send you some love. Thank you
All right,
so much
thank
for
you.
coming. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
So this is our moment here to do an offering. So we depend on everybody's generosity for keeping the lights on and having wonderful speakers come and all of the programs and things that we do here. So give generously. Nevin is going to be passing the basket around. And Gary has a little music for us.
Thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. So grateful. Oh, grateful. I'm so grateful. So I want to say thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day.
So we have a tradition here at Lake Harriet Spiritual Community to raise one hand and repeat after me. God's perfect love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. So I think we have enough people to maybe go around the center here. Let's see if that can happen. We're going to circle up and hold hands here for a minute. Okay, we're going to have Cliff go into the center of our circle here. Keep working it here, guys. We're not quite in a circle yet.
I'd like to suggest something. We used to do it in a men's group, and it's really, really powerful. And girls can do it too. It's
Go to men's group.
Everybody warms up their hands like this, and then I count of 3. We go pow and send them all our power.
Can we send them some gentle love first?
Gentle love, sure.
Thank you. Sorry, let's wait for the pow here just a
Female end
minute.
and the male end.
Yeah, okay. So you can rub your hands together and then just gently put them up and just send a lot of love from your heart out through your hands toward Cliff. And just let your heart expand a little bit. Bring your attention and your focus to your heart. Bring that loving creator energy down from the heavens. Ground yourself down into the earth. And just for a moment, let your heart expand. Let that beautiful energy of your heart just expand. And then we're just going to send it out beautifully, lovingly to Cliff. This unconditional, creator-loving, earth-loving, human-loving energy. Let's send this energy out to all of his family. All of his friends. His community. To all of your family and friends and community. And out around the world. As we stand in our circle, we are a community. And we're just sending all of this love out to everyone around the globe who needs a bit of love today, who needs a bit of kindness, who needs what I call an angel in a human body to just show up for them and bless them. Thank you, Cliff, for coming here and being here today, for helping us all to remember to send out love to those who need it, to all of your wonderful words of encouragement, and just, bringing us this beautiful opportunity. So we're going to send all that love and light up through this beautiful dome and out around the world with, I don't remember your name.
Brian.
Brian's suggestion. We're just going to kind of pow it out. Don't get afraid out there, okay?
Okay, so we're going to load up, charge batteries, and on 3, as loud as you can, you're going to say pow. And throw the hands right up.
How about we say love?
Well, pow is very, very.
Okay.
We get gentle. This is
We're
pow.
going with pow.
1, 2,
Okay.
3. Pow!
Thank you. Oh, wait a minute, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cliff. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you all.